James Thomas Morning Blend just ahead of Meg 3 and Jaws 8.0. Shark Week is going to put us in the belly of the beast. Oh my God, it's called Shark Week. It comes on July 7th. Austin's looking at me like, you should try this. And Liv's like, oh no. Guys,
How's
I
it
got to
going? We're
see.
gonna get you up there.
Yeah, it's called the what was it called? The ship was called the Blue what?
I don't know what are you referring to specifically? What
Ship
ship?
you're on. It's called the Blue.
The belly of the beast, I think is what you mean.
It's called Billy the Beast, but the ship that you're actually on is called the Blue what? I forgot the name.
I don't think we were out. We were the only ship we were on this year was this big fake whale Karki's decoy.
Okay,
Actually,
the decoy. So I was looking at the ship too. Yeah, and the decoy, woo, that takes a lot of bravery, guys. Let's talk a little bit about that. Liv, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Tell me about this, the belly of the beast, this big mechanical shark you guys have that you lure these sharks into.
Yes, absolutely. So last year we had Belly of the Beast. It was the first show. And this is the second one. So it's actually a fake humpback whale, and it's a decoy that we use to lure in white sharks. And it works really, really well. It actually does bring out the biggest white sharks. It worked last year in South Africa. We're now taking it to New Zealand to see if we can do the same thing, to get up close and personal to these apex predators and study them like we've never seen them before. And now we've got two of us trying to do the job. So it was amazing. It's amazing. I can't wait for you to see it.
Austin, talk about the queen boss and the big males.
sure thing. So queen boss is a term that we kind of invented that refers to these really large breeding great white sharks, females, and they really only reach maturity around 14, 15 feet. So these are the most important individuals for the whole population because they control the gene flow. We think that they probably structure all the interactions that happen at these white shark hotspots. So the queen boss sort of controls her domain, and that was really the focus of this show and how she interacted with those other big males.
So it was very interesting because I think the whole idea was to just check on clans to see if sharks have clans. Is that right? Almost like a community.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's one of the takeaways from this show, this expedition, was that these animals are much more social than we give them credit for. We know that they do interact, they do have these complex behaviors, but we think they do form these tight little clans and almost partnerships. And we think it could be all coming back to this large female that comes in every now and then and sort of just runs the show.
Liv, let's talk about the large female. I think the one we saw in the series that I saw was 18 feet. How large can they get?
Yeah, correct. So last year's was 18 foot. 18 foot's, really pushing the upper limit of the white size of white sharks. So around that range. But yeah, I mean, it's incredible. For me as a woman, it's pretty cool to see a big dominating big female energy in the space. Very cool. But she's amazing. And she's, the females are so pivotal to the population of white sharks and their survival. And, she's out there finding the best suitor, the best male that she wants to mate with to reproduce. So she's incredibly important. So for us to get to study her and get close to her is, we're doing our job as scientists when we do that. So she's amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing to watch this whole thing. Austin, talk a little bit about the males too, because you had the young adult males and then you had the other males, and it was actually there was size difference as far as young and a full adult male. Talk about that.
Totally. So when you have a bunch of male white sharks, it's sort of like a bunch of guys competing, in a small area, a bunch of teenagers, you know what I mean? Lots of hormones going around, jockeying for position, who's going to, land the big female. And the animals the males in particular, are very competitive with one another. They're completely, torn up, lots of scratch marks on them, whereas the females are typically a lot cleaner. So yeah, the males are the ones that are in the trenches, trying to, get their position right in the community and prove that they are deserving of those opportunities to get it on with the big female.
Once they get it on with the male, the female, Liv, how many offspring can she produce?
Yeah, so she can produce like quite a lot of offspring. But the thing is with shark reproduction, and we don't know too much about that, is that they have a very long period of gestation, so which makes them very, very vulnerable, which is another reason why we want to tap into potential mating behaviors, because we don't know much about white shark sex. We don't. It's extremely cryptic. And given how much media attention they get, and given how much they are studied, we don't know much. So tapping into anything to do with mating or reproduction is really quite amazing.
You know, it's interesting. I'm going to ask a question I'm not sure about, and that is, over time, as far as evolution, have sharks changed in any way in the past 10 to 15,000 years?
Probably nothing that we could see noticeably with our eyeballs. And I'm actually going to raise your 10 to 15,000 years and probably go 10 to 15 million years. So they have been changing, but all these changes are happening at the genetic level very slowly. And, you know, those changes genetically don't manifest physically, appearance, color, shape. It takes a long time for those traits to kind of work their way through evolutionary time, if that makes sense. So they haven't changed much in the last, little bit there, but over the last 500 million years, they've changed quite a bit. And the species that's probably the most unique is the hammerhead shark.
Talk a little bit about the hammerhead sharks. As you got hammerhead, monster hammerhead species X. Talk about that just a little bit, Liv.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's based in Turks and Caicos, which is one of our research locations that me and Austin actively go to do our own research. And having been there and tracked and tagged many shark species there, we were coming across this hammerhead, and we were starting to notice some things about the individuals that we're seeing there that were a little bit different to what we know about the great hammerheads. So we went on a mission to try and investigate, is there a new species? What are we seeing here? And we go out there and we try and answer that big scientific question.
Between the two of you, who gets to get into the belly of the beast and play with the sharks? Which one of you two? I think Austin stays on shore. Is that right, Liv?
Oh yeah. He doesn't want to go in. He doesn't want to admit it, but he's a little bit scared, I think. No. we both go in this year. We both get to go inside. So yeah, we have Austin's kind of often at the head, and I was at the tail of the fake whale decoy, and we've got two sets of eyes watching these white sharks surround us, attack us, and it's pretty nuts.
I'd rather have you two with me in the night here in St. Louis, protecting me going to a club. That's what I think. Because you guys are brave. That's all I can say. There's a lot of bravery going on there. I've been speaking with Dr. Austin Gallagher. I'm sorry, Austin, what are you saying?
No, I was just saying thanks a lot. And yeah, if you ever need, a dive buddy or like a club buddy for St. Louis, just know how to reach us.
I'm gonna reach out to both of you. Dr. Austin Gallagher, Liv Dixon, thank you so much for joining us on Morning Blend. What I saw was extremely incredible, scary, made me nervous, and exciting too at the same time. So thank you again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy it.
I did, and I'm gonna keep watching.